What's going on, everyone? So JJ Redick is absolutely furious and just really seems fed up with the Lakers thus far, and I don't blame him at all. He even recently spoke about D'Angelo Russell after the game in which the Lakers lost, and Redick later pulled Russell from the game midway through the third quarter. Just his level of compete, attention to detail, some of the things we've talked with him about for a couple of weeks. Redick said when asked about the decision, and at times, he's been really good with that stuff. And other times, it's just reverting back to certain habits. But it wasn't like a punishment. It just felt for us to have the best chance to win this game. That was the route he wanted to take. Again, JJ Redick on taking out D'Angelo Russell. Now, look, it's not all just on D'Angelo Russell. The effort, period, has been ridiculous. And JJ Redick has talked about it. JJ Redick has talked about, taking more pride on the defensive end. He even talked about how, when 7 guys show up, we're a good basketball team and we win games. But when it's 2, 3, or even 5, guess what? We don't win, right? It's the lack of consistency. It's the lack of urgency from these players. And we just don't have the pieces necessary. It's why all offseason talked about trades, continue to maintain trades. Until we get trades, we're not going to be able to fix a lot of the issues, right? Like I did my predictions. I broke down all, the basketball side of the Lakers and what I thought and all that. And I did say, we have a lot of holes that I don't care how good JJ Redick is as a head coach, we're never going to be able to fix. I said, I don't know how I don't see us being a better defensive team. I just don't think we have the defensive pieces to regularly be able to be a top defensive team. It's why I said, can we just be serviceable? Can we be top 12 defensively? I talked about how I don't see us being this elite rebounding team because we don't have the athleticism to chase down balls, right? Like, you look at most of the rebounds that the Lakers give up. It's not on the interior. Most of them, I'm not saying that they don't ever, but most of them are long rebounds because opposing teams have athleticism and they can just chase down, and all they have to do is win a foot race over D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura. You and me could probably do that, right? Like, it's not like they're known for their athleticism and foot speed. So you have these guys, these teams, and you see it every time we go up against any type of athleticism, we get smoked. D'Angelo Russell I've talked about it several times already. He's completely phased out at this point. He is. He serves no purpose on this team. Not only do you already naturally have redundancy between him and Austin Reeves, but the way that JJ Redick and this team is using Austin Reeves, you have no need for D'Lo because you don't need his playmaking the way that you did like last season. And he doesn't give you defense. He doesn't rebound the ball well. He doesn't have athleticism to, get back in transition or, help with rebounds or just put pressure and stay in front of guys. So unless he's just shooting the lights out, he's completely redundant. He serves 0 points, and he's not shooting the lights out, in case you didn't know. Right? Even in the last game, he had 12 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 4-12 from the field, 2-9 from 3. 2 steals, 1 turnover. He was a -9. And the problem is, it's not just him. Austin Reeves hasn't been, he's been terrible shooting the basketball. And I keep talking about it, and every time I talk about Austin Reeves shooting the ball terribly, all the Austin Reeves stands come out and tell me how, oh no, he's fine. Well, I'd love to hear the explanation now. Because I talked about how all season last year, we've had over 100 game sample size. Like, how much more do we need to see that he can't shoot the ball consistently? He has 3 to 4 games where he shoots the lights out. You saw it so far this season, right? All of preseason, he was awful. First game of the season, awful. Then he had a 3-game stint where he shot like 70% from 3-point range. And since then, he's had a 3-game stint where he can't shoot the ball. 4-game stint now. It's been 4 games because this Memphis Grizzly game, he shot 2 of 9 from 3. The last game, he shot 3 of 10. He's shooting under 30% from 3-point range, right? And 2 games in a row now, he shot 7 of 17 from the field. Yes, he's giving you 19 points, but it's taking him 19 shots. Last game, he did the same thing. He's not efficient, and that's the problem. So unless Austin Reeves is super efficient and D'Angelo Russell are super efficient, Austin Reeves is just getting blown by. Now, Austin Reeves has been better rebounding the basketball, although this last 2 games he hasn't been. But for the most part this season, he's been better at rebounding the basketball. But he's also not done a great job this season of taking care of the basketball. He did the last game, he only had 1 turnover, but he was a -9 as well. Right? And then, people I've seen talk about Dalton Knecht. I'm not really worried, but Dalton Knecht's a rookie. He's the last person we should be talking about, right? I don't care about Dalton Knecht. Even Max Christie to an extent, who he's not been great either. Don't get me wrong. I'm hopeful that, because at the end of that game, he hit a couple shots. I'm hopeful that is the beginning of him kind of getting things together, right? And can be a serviceable player. No one's asking for him to be lights out and give you 20 a game. But if he could just give us 8 to 10 consistently, he gave us 8 last night. If he could just do that, 8-3, what was he? 8-3 and 3. If he could just do that in limited minutes, that'd be perfect, right? But again, I can't get too much behind the let's grab our pitchforks for Max Christie and Dalton Knecht. They're young. They're not expected to be those guys. They're not supposed to be your top 5 best players. They're supposed to be your 9th and 10th best player, or 8th at worst, or at best. You're supposed to have your starting 5 and 1 or 2 guys that are veterans that are supposed to handle it. Where is Gabe Vincent? Right? Where is Austin Reeves? Where is D'Angelo Russell? Where is Rui Hachimura consistency-wise? Obviously, he didn't play this game. Right? It can't be LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Talked about this all offseason. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are good enough to get you close. They can throw you on their back and carry you on this journey. However, if you're just dead weight, they're eventually going to get worn down and they're not going to be able to get you all the way home. You're going to fall short. But if you can make it as pleasant of a journey as possible and take as much pressure off of them as possible, they might even be able to get you to an NBA championship. They might be able to get you all the way home. Anthony Davis had an MVP level season. LeBron James, he had that one dud game. Outside of that, he's been brilliant. And this game, he did everything he could. Dropped 39, 7, and 6. And the Lakers still got blown out. 35 minutes of action. 15 of 24 from the floor. 6 of 11 from 3. 3 of 4 from the foul line. 1 steal. 5 turnovers, not a big fan with. But, it's such a small thing compared to the production that he gave you. Right? The Lakers aren't giving consistent effort. They got to out-rebound 50 to 37. 12 offensive rebounds to 9 offensive rebounds, but it wasn't that close till later in the game. You're not, the only reason this game was close early on was Memphis's turnovers. Memphis had 18 total in the game, but they had 12 of them at halftime. They cleaned up the turnovers and they just ran through us. But where are these guys? Where's Gabe Vincent at? Everyone's so stuck on Max Christie. What about the guy that missed an entire season last year and is just basically getting cardio out there? Right? And he's 28 years old, a veteran, has been to the NBA Finals. Where is he right now? I made a whole video diving into this, and everyone's excuse was it's about him in the playoffs. Well, guess what? You have to make the playoffs for somebody to show up in the playoffs. I don't care if Gabe Vincent will give you 8 points in the playoffs, right? It's not like he's a 30-point scorer in the playoffs. No, the most he's ever scored in the playoffs is 12. He averaged 12, right? Okay, so great. He gives us 12 in the playoffs. But if he gives us zeros or 3 points a game in the regular season, who cares? We're not even going to make the playoffs. It's silly. Like, where are the veteran guys? Where are the guys that are supposed to be a big integral part to this team? D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, right? Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent. Hopefully, when Christian Wood gets back, he can kind of get into a rhythm. He can kind of get into a flow of things. Same thing with Jared Vanderbilt, hopefully, if he can stay healthy. I don't care how good of a coach. I said this. I defended Ham last year. Same things. I don't care how good of a coach you have. When guys don't show up, when you can't shoot the basketball, right? Like, when you're not executing, when you're not playing the right way, when you're not rebounding, JJ Redick can't go out there and shoot for this team. He can't. It doesn't work that way. He can't go out there and rebound for this team. It doesn't work that way. He only gets so many timeouts. He can only, micromanage so much. At some point, the players have to play the game. At some point, the Lakers have to show up. And they just haven't the last few games. They started and were looking great. Started 3-0, looking like a brand new team. We got a shiny new toy. And again, team's just been awful since. And look, I still believe that this team is better coached this season than they were last year. I mean, you've seen the changes, but again, there were things that I didn't see getting changed that I talked about and broke down very extensively, and so far none of those things have changed. And this was a problem last year. And look, JJ Redick, I've seen comments from people where they're just like, oh, JJ Redick, he's taking, but like, he did. He took accountability for the first loss. These last few losses have not been on JJ Redick. It's been the effort and lack of play. It's not JJ Redick's fault that our guys are getting out hustled. Not our fault that guys aren't buying in on the defense. He's throwing out every play. He was trying lineups in this game that we had never seen, because it's like, man, what am I supposed to do? Nobody's showing up. No one's doing what they're supposed to do, right? Like, what, am I supposed to just keep the same guys in and hope that maybe they figure it out and turn it around? Or do I try to hope that somebody on the bench figures it out and we can kind of get back into this game? Get LeBron some help. Again, if we're playing 2-on-5 every night, we're not going to win a lot of games. I still look, I don't think it's Chicken Little, the sky is falling. I don't think the season's over. I'd rather these issues now than game 50, but I don't know how they're going to correct a lot of this stuff without trades. They don't have the personnel. They don't have the consistency, right? Like the guys just, they can't hit shots consistently. Austin Reeves cannot hit shots consistently. D'Angelo Russell, he did the same thing last year. And we're hoping that he turns it around and figures it out. Last season, first 15 games, he was 30% or 31% from three-point range. And then he just figured it out and had a historically great season. I don't want to wait another 7 games for him to figure it out. I hope he got the message. Needs to get after it. At least try. We all know D'Lo's issues. We all know Reeves' issues. We all know all these guys' issues. It's fine. But at least put an effort out there. Right? At least don't be unplayable out there. Again, Austin Reeves, he's got to find a way to hit threes. I mean, he's getting wide open looks too. Not even contested looks. He's getting wide open looks. And just can't hit it. And again, we've had over 100 game sample size. And yet people keep telling me Reeves is fine, Reeves this, Reeves that. Okay, well, so how many games do we need before we realize that Austin Reeves can't shoot? Every stint, every stretch that Austin Reeves last year went on where he shot the ball well, myself and all of us were hopefully this is the moment that he turns it around. And then he'd have 3 to 5 games where he didn't. And then we'd have the stint again. And then I hyped up Austin Reeves like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan. I have videos on the channel talking about Austin Reeves being this, this great, excellent, super duper star. And that I thought he could play at an all-star level and all this stuff. And he hasn't done it. Can't do it. He's not efficient anymore. It's incredibly frustrating to see. incredibly frustrating to see. And I don't blame JJ Redick. Somebody needs to call it. Look, Darvin Ham would have been like, gotta tip your hat to those guys. Or he would have been like, everyone, it's a marathon, not a sprint. No, I love that JJ Redick's like, these guys aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. Good, call them out. Let them know. JJ Redick took the accountability on the first game. He said, you know what, that was my fault. I didn't make the adjustments. I didn't make the changes that I needed to do. I don't care what you can't make adjustments on your key 8 guys. Literally, your top 8 guys. You can't, like, what adjustments are you supposed to make your 8 guys actually play basketball correctly? Consistently. That's the problem. But it needs to get fixed. It does. It needs to get fixed. These guys need to take some pride. JJ Redick said himself, these guys got to take pride. Take some pride. Stop getting worked on the basketball court. Don't you get tired of losing by 20 every time you don't show up? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? You kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.